You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you, Isaiah 26:3. My mind was a battlefield, but he didn't run. He walked in, and he stayed.
3 a.m. thoughts, racing like a freight train with no brakes. Anxiety attacks and waves keeping me awake. Replaying every failure, every moment of regret. Mental loops of trauma that I'm trying to forget, but can't escape the spiral, can't silence the noise of accusations, condemnation, stealing all my joy. That's when Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. Didn't flee the chaos, didn't turn away afraid of the mess inside my mind, the disorder and the pain. The obsessive overthinking driving me insane. He just sat out in the middle of the storm inside my head. Spoke peace to the confusion, brought life where I felt dead. Philippians 4:7 talks about a peace of passing understanding. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts instead, now I'm standing. Not in my own strength or ability to cope, but in his presence, bringing order, bringing hope. When my thoughts were a prison, he didn't leave me there. He walked into the chaos, showed me that he cared. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. When my mind was a war zone, he wasn't afraid. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. Brought his peace with confusion and play. He didn't judge a mess he found, didn't condemn what was going down. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. And everything started to change. My mind's not perfect, but it's healing. My thoughts still struggle, but I'm feeling. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed, and that made all the difference. 2 Corinthians 10:5 teaches taking thoughts captive, making them obedient to Christ. That's how we're active in the battle for our minds, but I couldn't do it alone. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed, made them his own. Not to condemn, but to redeem, not to shame, but to restore. Every pattern, every pathway, every wound and mental door that I like to keep our pain, but trap myself inside. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed as my guide through the labyrinth of lies that I believed about myself, through the toxic narratives affecting my mental health, depression, paranoia, intrusive thoughts that wouldn't cease. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed, brought relief. Not instant or immediate, but progressive and real. Romans 12 talks about renewing mind. That's how we heal, by the transformation of our thinking patterns day by day. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed all the way. When my thoughts were a prison, he didn't leave me there. He walked into the chaos, showed me that he cared. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. When my mind was a war zone, he wasn't afraid. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. Brought his peace with confusion and played. He didn't judge a mess he found, didn't condemn what was going down. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. And everything started to change. My mind's not perfect, but it's healing. My thoughts still struggle, but I'm feeling. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed, and that made all the difference. Psalm 39 says he knows every thought before I think it. He's familiar with my ways before my mind can even link it. All together in the patterns, in the spirals, in the pain. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and broke the mental chains that held me captive to the past, the trauma, fear, and shame. Didn't wait for me to fix it. He just called me by my name, said, "Child, I'm here, I see you in the darkness of your mind. I'm not afraid of what I find here. I came to seek, to say, be kind to the parts you think are crazy, to the thoughts you won't confess. I walked into your broken thoughts to heal, restore, and bless. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. When my mind was a war zone, he wasn't afraid. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. Brought his peace where confusion had played. He didn't judge a mess he found, didn't condemn what was going down. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. And everything started to change. Now I'm learning how to think differently, how to take every thought and make it free. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed, teaching me a better way to process pain, to handle fear, to know that he is always near. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed. And I'm not the same today. My mind's becoming new terrain, where his truth overcomes my pain. Jesus walked into my broken thoughts and stayed, and he's still here with me.
Jesus wept. John 11:35. I was numb for so long, couldn't access my own heart. Then he sat beside me and felt what I couldn't.
Yeah, I was disconnected from emotions, couldn't cry if I tried. Built walls around my feelings, everything locked deep inside. Trauma taught me early that emotions weren't safe to show, so I shut them all down, learned to live without the flow of tears of joy or anger, just existing in the gray. Until I didn't know how to feel, lost connection to that way of being human, being vulnerable, being truly alive. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, helped me forever. He said, yeah. The numbness into nothing, the emptiness within. John 11:35, the shortest verse, but packed with discipline of emotional intelligence. Jesus wept the Lazarus tomb, even though he knew the ending. He made space for grief in the room. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, showed that emotions aren't weakness, they're part of being whole, part of being human, part of how we're designed to live. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, taught me how to give. When I was frozen inside, when I couldn't break through, you didn't judge my numbness, yeah. You just sat and felt it too, yeah. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. When my heart was locked and I lost the key, I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Yeah. Showed me what emotions could be, not dangerous but healing, not weakness but being real. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, taught my heart how to heal. He cried when I couldn't cry, he felt when I was numb. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Until my heart could come back to life, back to feeling, back to being human again. I didn't know how to feel, yeah, so Jesus felt it with me. Yeah. That's where healing began. Hebrews 4:15 says he's not a high priest, unable to sympathize with our weaknesses. He was tempted in every way. That's how he qualifies to understand our struggles, including emotional pain. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me through the rain of tears I couldn't access, the grief I couldn't name, the anger I suppressed, the joy I couldn't claim. Because I've been taught that feelings was something to control, Jesus felt it with me, reconnected me to my soul. Romans 12:15 says, rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. That's emotional connection, being born in community and presence, not fixing but feeling together. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, severed the tether. Isolation from emotion helped me understand that being fully human means holding both joy and grief in the same hand, not choosing one or the other, not suppressing or denying. Jesus felt it with me, including all the crying when I was frozen inside. When I couldn't break through, yeah. You didn't judge my number, yeah. You just sat and felt it too. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Showed me what emotions could be, not dangerous but healing, not dangerous but being real. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, taught my heart how to heal. He cried when I couldn't cry, he felt when I was numb. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, until my heart could come back to life, back to feeling, back to being human again. I didn't know how to feel, yeah, so Jesus felt it with me. Yeah, that's where healing began. Luke 19:41. He wept over Jerusalem, showing us that feeling deeply is part of his system. Yeah, of loving, of caring, of being connected to life. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me through the strife of learning to thaw out from years of emotional freeze. He didn't rush the process, he just sat with me at ease in the discomfort of feeling, in the pain of coming alive. He modeled what it looks like to emotionally survive and then to thrive, to feel fully, not controlled by emotion, but connected to the ocean of what it means to be human in relationship with God. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Show me what emotions the key, not dangerous but healing, not weakness but being real. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me, taught my heart how to heal. Now I'm learning how to cry again, how to laugh without the fear. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Now I'm not, so Jesus is drawing in, not to overwhelm but to connect me to myself and to his heart. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Yeah, that's where healing starts. He cried when I couldn't cry, he felt when I was numb. I didn't know how to feel, so Jesus felt it with me. Now my heart has come alive.
Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Psalm 39:23. I had a mask for everyone, but he saw through them all. and love what he found underneath.
I was curating my image, filtering every single flaw, showing people what they wanted, what they expected, what they saw. Was carefully constructed, perfectly presented, always fine. But underneath the surface I was barely holding a line between keeping it together and completely falling apart. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show the real me from the start. Yeah. Not the polished, not the perfect, not the one who had it made, but the broken, messy, struggling one I kept locked away, afraid. If people really knew me, they would turn and walk away. That rejection and abandonment would be the price I pay for authenticity and honesty about my inner state. But Luke 5:31 says Jesus came for those who can't relate to having it together. He came for the sick, the weak. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, the one I wouldn't speak about in public settings or in carefully crafted posts. That was the version Jesus loved, pursued, and wanted most. I thought I had to hide the parts that weren't refined, but you saw through the disguise and loved what you would find. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, the broken parts, the hidden scars nobody knows. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. When I let the mask fall down, that's when love could flow. Not the Instagram highlight reel, but the raw, unfiltered real. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, yeah. And that's what helped me heal. I don't have to pretend anymore, I don't have to keep the score. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. Now I'm free to be myself. 1 Samuel 16:7 says man looks at the outward appearance clearly, but God looks at the heart, sees what's happened internally. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, the one behind closed doors who struggled with depression, who was fighting private wars with addiction and with shame, with thoughts I never say out loud, who felt inadequate and insecure when standing in a crowd, comparing my insides to everybody else's outside view. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, the real, authentic, true person that I am when no one's watching, no one's there to judge. When I can finally be myself without having to begrudge the parts of me that don't fit in a box of expectations. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. No limitations on his grace, his mercy, his acceptance of my soul. Not waiting for me to get better to finally reach the goal of perfection, no performance. He loved me in a mess. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. Nothing more, nothing less. I thought I had to hide the parts that weren't refined, but you saw through the disguise and love what you would find. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, the broken parts, the hidden scars nobody knows. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. When I let the mask fall down, that's when love could flow. Not an Instagram highlight reel, but a raw, unfiltered real. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, and that's what helped me heal. I don't have to pretend anymore, I don't have to keep the score. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. Now I'm free to be myself. Romans 5:8 declares, while I was still a sinner, Christ died for me right there. Not when I was a winner, but in my worst condition, in my most broken state, he loved a version of me I was afraid to show. That's grace, not based on my performance, not earned by what I do, but freely given, lavished on the hidden me in you. Ephesians 2:8 reminds us it's by grace through faith alone, not a work so none can boast. He loved what I'd never shown to anyone, including myself. The parts I tried to hide, he loved a version of me I was afraid to show with pride. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, the broken parts, the hidden scars nobody knows. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. When I let the mask fall down, that's when love could flow. Not the Instagram highlight reel, but the raw, unfiltered real. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, and that's what helped me heal. Not on earning to be honest, to show up as I am. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. That's his redemption plan, to love us in our brokenness, to meet us in our shame. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show, and called me by my name. Not the persona, not the mask, the real me underneath. He loved a version of me I was afraid to show. That's where I found really.
Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. I was looking for a miracle. He showed up as comfort. I wanted proof. He gave me presence.
I was begging heaven for a billboard, something undeniable and clear. A burning bush, a parted sea, lightning bolt to conquer fear. Wanted confirmation that he heard me, that he cared about my plight. But I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder through the night. When I couldn't sleep and tears were falling, when anxiety took hold, he didn't send spectacular, something better, something gold. Not flashy or impressive, but intimate and near. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder and whispered, I'm here. See, 1 Kings 19 shows us Elijah in the cave, looking for God in earthquake, wind and fire, trying to be saved from his despair and exhaustion, but God was in a whisper still. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder bent to his will. Not my expectations of how he should reveal his power, but his actual presence in my most desperate hour. Not proving himself with wonders, but being with me in the pain. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder again and again. I was looking for the spectacular. He gave me something better. I was searching for a miracle. He became my shelter. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder to cry on, to lean on, to rest. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, and that's what I needed the most. Not thunder, not lightning, not proof that I could see. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, his presence comforting me. Sometimes love doesn't announce itself. Sometimes grace is just being there. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, showing me he cared. John 20:29 says, blessed are those who believe without seeing. But I was demanding evidence before I started agreeing, and trusting with my future, to surrender my control. But I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder for my soul, to rest upon in weakness, to find strength in his embrace. Not through miraculous displays, but through a steady grace that showed up in the silence, in the moments in between. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, most beautiful thing I've seen. Matthew 11:28 invites the weary to come and find rest. Not through spectacular signs, but by laying on his chest the burden that we're carrying, a way we cannot bear. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, proving he was there. Not distant in the heavens, waiting to be impressed by our faith or our devotion before he manifests his presence and his power. He just showed up in the pain. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder like gentle rain. I won't lose hope. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder like gentle rain. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder to cry on, to lean on, to rest. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, and that's what I needed the most. Not thunder, not lightning, not proof that I could see. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, his presence comforting me. Sometimes love doesn't announce itself. Sometimes grace is just being there. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, showing me he cared. Isaiah 30:15 declares it. In quietness and confidence shall be your strength. Not in dramatic signs, but presence. I wanted confirmation. He gave me consolation. I wanted demonstration. He gave me his location, right beside me in the valley, not performing from afar. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, that's exactly what you are. A God who's not too distant to feel what I feel, who doesn't need theatrics to prove that you're real. You show up in the simple, in the quiet, in the small. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, that's the greatest sign of all. I wanted a sign. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder to cry on, to lean on, to rest. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, and that's what I needed the most. Not thunder, not lightning, not proof that I could see. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, His presence comforting me. And now I understand that presence is the greatest miracle of all. I wanted a sign, I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder to catch me when I fall. Oh, not spectacular, but personal. Not distant, but so near. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder and dried every tear. Sometimes love doesn't announce itself. Sometimes grace is just being there. I wanted a sign. He gave me a shoulder, the answer to my prayer.
I wasn't whole when He came for me. I was broken pieces on the floor, couldn't see. But somewhere in the mess, in the middle of my pain, Jesus met me where I was, called me by my name. Started from the bottom of my deepest shame, wrestling with demons playing their game. Thought I had to fix myself before I came to Him. Thought I had to clean up all my sin, but grace don't work like that, nah. He found me in the wreckage of my past. When I was drowning in the dark, He pulled me out, gave me a brand new heart. I wasn't ready, wasn't perfect, wasn't clean. I was the most broken thing you've ever seen. But Jesus looked at me and saw potential, said your healing journey is essential. Every scar I carry tells a story now. Every battle that I faced taught me how to stand up when I fall, to rise when I'm weak, to find my strength in Him when I can barely speak. The process ain't pretty, it's messy and it's real, but I'm learning how to trust, learning how to feel, learning that my weakness is where His power shows, that in my brokenness is where His glory glows. I'm not where I wanna be, but I'm not where I used to be. God's still working on me. In the middle of my healing, He's setting me free, yeah. Jesus found me in the middle of my own messy healing. When I was barely breathing, He gave my life new meaning. I'm still under construction, still learning how to trust, but His grace is sufficient, His mercy is enough. Jesus found me in the middle, didn't wait till I was done. He showed up in my struggle, said you're still my son. I'm a work in progress, yeah, I'm still being made, but I'm walking in His promise, standing on His grace. Let me tell you about the nights I couldn't sleep, when the weight of my mistakes cut so deep, when anxiety was knocking, depression at my door, when I felt like I couldn't take no more. That's when Jesus whispered, I got you, child. Your pain is not forever, just wait a while. I'm making something beautiful from your broken parts. I'm healing you from the inside, starting with your heart. See, healing ain't linear, it goes up and down. Some days I'm flying high, some days I'm on the ground. But even in the valleys, even in the low, I feel His presence with me everywhere I go. He's teaching me that strength isn't hiding all my scars, it's showing them to others, showing who you are. That vulnerability is courage in disguise, that my testimony can open blinded eyes. I'm learning that my story isn't over yet, that God uses everything, even my regret. He's turning all my pain into purpose and fire, taking me higher and higher and higher. So if you're in the middle, if you're not okay, if you're still fighting battles every single day, know that Jesus sees you, knows exactly where you are, and He's close to the broken, He's healing every scar. I'm not where I wanna be, but I'm not where I used to be. God's still working on me. In the middle of my healing, He's setting me free, yeah. Jesus found me in the middle of my own messy healing. When I was barely breathing, He gave my life new meaning. I'm still under construction, still learning how to trust, but His grace is sufficient, His mercy is enough. Jesus found me in the middle, didn't wait till I was done. He showed up in my struggle, said you're still my son. I'm a work in progress, yeah, I'm still being made, but I'm walking in His promise, standing on His grace. He didn't wait for me to have it all
all together. He met me in my storm, in my darkest weather. And even when I stumble, even when I fall, His love is always there to catch it all. I'm healing, I'm growing, I'm learning day by day. That God's not finished with me, I'm still clay. He's molding, He's shaping, He's working in my soul, taking every broken piece and making me whole. So I'll keep walking forward even when it's hard, even when the journey leaves me scarred. Cause I know who holds my future in His hands, and His plan for me is greater than I understand. Jesus found me in the middle of my own messy healing. When I was barely breathing, He gave my life new meaning. I'm still under construction, still learning how to trust, but His grace is sufficient, His mercy is enough. Jesus found me in the middle, didn't wait till I was done. He showed up in my struggle, said you're still my chosen one. I'm a work in progress, yeah, I'm still being refined, but I'm walking in His purpose, His peace is what I find.
And I'm sure of this, that He began a good work in you, will bring it to completion.
He found me in the middle, and He's not letting go. Even in my mess, His love continues to flow. I'm not perfect, but I'm His, and that's enough for me. Jesus found me in the middle, and now I'm finally free. Started praying with my hands shaking like leaves, voice cracking, barely knew what to believe. Tears falling down while I'm on my knees, begging God to help me, please, I need you, please. My faith was small, maybe mustard seed size, but I learned that's enough when you're looking to the skies. Cause it ain't about the strength that I possess, it's about His power working through my weakness. I was stuttering through prayers in the midnight hour, feeling powerless when I needed power. But God said, child, your weakness is my stage, when my glory shows up, where I display my grace. Every word I spoke was filled with doubt and fear, but He heard past my words, He heard what was sincere. He saw my heart when my mouth couldn't speak. He was strong in the moments when I was weak, when anxiety had me, depression too, when I couldn't see a way, couldn't see what's true. His hands were steady, holding me tight, guiding me through the darkest night. I'm learning that faith isn't feeling perfect peace. Sometimes it's just showing up, bending at your knees. Even when you're shaking, even when you cry, God is in a trembling, God is in a why. When I was falling apart, barely holding on, He was building me up, making me strong. My faith was fragile, my hope was thin, but His faithfulness was certain, His love never ends. My prayers were shaky, but His hands were steady. When I wasn't ready, He was already there. I was barely standing, but He held me heavy. In my weakest moment, He was always near. My words were broken, but He heard my heart. When I was falling, He caught every part. I was trembling in a storm, but He was my anchor. My prayers were shaky, but His hands were steady. Let me paint a picture of my darkest days, when life hit hard and I lost my way, when the enemy whispered God ain't listen, when my prayers felt empty, felt like missing something. But that's when faith gets tested, that's when trust grows deep, when you can't feel His presence but you still believe, when the silence is loud and the wait is long, but you keep praying even when it feels wrong. I was crying out with barely any voice, but God was moving, making His choice to show up strong when I was weak, to speak life when I couldn't speak. He was working behind the scenes I couldn't see, arranging everything for my victory. While I was shaking, He was orchestrating. While I was breaking, He was renovating. Every shaky prayer was heard in heaven's throne. Every broken word was never prayed alone. The Holy Spirit was translating my pain into perfect prayers in Jesus' name. So when you feel like your faith is way too small, remember God uses the weak to show His all. When you're on your knees and you don't know what to say, the steady hands are guiding you anyway. When I was falling apart, barely holding on, He was building me up, making me strong. My faith was fragile, my hope was thin, but His faithfulness was certain, His love never ends. My prayers were shaky, but His hands were steady. When I wasn't ready, He was already there. I was barely standing, but He held me heavy. weakest moment, he was always near. My words were broken, but he heard my heart. When I was falling, he caught every part. I was trembling in the storm, but he was my anchor. Prayers were shaky, but his hands were steady. Even when I stumble, he won't let me fall. Even when I'm crumbling, he holds it all. His grip is stronger than my greatest fear. His voice is louder than the lies I hear. My faith may waver, but his truth stands firm. My vision may fade, but he's still concerned about every detail of my life and soul. He's making me complete, he's making me whole. So I'll keep praying even when I shake. I'll keep believing even when I break. Cause his hands are steady, his love is sure. In him I'm safe, in him I'm secure. My prayers were shaky, but his hands were steady. When I wasn't ready, he was already there. I was barely standing, but he held me heavy. In my weakest moment, he was always near. My words were broken, but he heard my heart. When I was falling, he caught every part. I was trembling in a storm, but he was my anchor. My prayers were shaky, but his hands were steady. Yeah. But his hands were steady, yeah.
But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us, Romans 5:8.
He didn't wait for me to get it right. Showed up in my night, giving late. I was falling apart, couldn't hold away. But Jesus met me there, it is. I was broken down, shattered on the ground, lost in my addiction, couldn't hear a sound. Thought I had to clean up before I came to them. Thought I had to fix myself, erase every sin. But grace crashed in like waves upon the shore. Found me in a rubble, picked me off the floor. I wasn't ready, wasn't worthy of his name, but he called me his own, loved me just the same. I was at rock bottom, couldn't fall no more. Mind racing, heart aching, soul feeling sore. Every mistake I made was written on my face, but Jesus looked at me and said, this is why I came. He came for the broken, not the hope. For the ones who lost their way, who sold their soul. For the desperate and the hurt and the lost. He paid the ultimate price, he paid the cost. I was drowning in my shame, suffocating in my past. Didn't think redemption could ever come that fast, but mercy moved before I moved my feet. Grace arrived before I cried, save me, please. He didn't wait for me to have it all together. He met me in my storm, in my worst weather. When I was breaking into pieces on the floor, that's when Jesus kicked down the door. I wasn't ready, but he was. I was dying, that's because he came to give me life again. He came when I was at my end. He didn't wait for me to be ready. Came when I was breaking, when my world was unsteady. When my soul was aching, he didn't need me perfect, he just needed me to surrender all my brokenness and let him set me free. He came in my worst moment, not my bed. He came when I was breaking, gave my spirit rest. Let me tell you what it's like when grace breaks free. When you're covered in your mess and he still chooses you. When you're at your lowest point, can't see no way, and suddenly the light breaks and turns night to day. I was running from my problems, running from my pain, running from the mirror cause I hated my own name. I was running after me with open arms. Said I love you in your chaos, in your harm. He saw potential where I saw only way. He saw his image covered up, not erased. He saw a warrior where I saw a coward. He saw my future in that darkest hour. See, Jesus specializes in the broken one, the outcast, the forgotten, the prodigal son. He didn't come for people who thought they had it made. He came for people like me who desperately prayed. I was crying out with nothing left to give, just begging God to help me learn to live. Then he responded not with judgment or with shame, but with love so powerful it changed my name. Now I'm walking in a freedom I don't deserve, standing on his promises, standing on his word. He transformed my breaking into something new, made beauty from my ashes, made me born brand new.
I wasn't ready, but he was. I was dying, that's because he came to give me life again. He came when I was at my end. He didn't wait for me to be ready. He came when I was breaking, when my world was unsteady, when my soul was aching and it need me perfect. He just needed me to surrender all my brokenness and let him set me free. He came when I was moaning and out of my bed. He came when I was breaking, gave my spirit rest. When I was at my worst, he showed his best. When I had nothing left, he gave me rest. When I was breaking down, he built me up. When I was empty, he filled my cup. He came when I was breaking, yeah. He came when I was shaking, yeah. He came when I was lost and alone. He came and made my heart his home. I didn't have to wait till I was old. He wanted all of me, including my broken soul. He came into my mess and made it clean. He came when I was breaking and made me complete. He didn't wait for me to be ready. He came when I was breaking, when my world was unsteady, when my soul was aching, he didn't need me perfect. He just needed me to surrender all my brokenness and let him set me free. He came when I was moaning, now my bed. He came when I was breaking, when I was spirit rest. He came when I was breaking, yeah. Came when I was shaking, yeah. Came when I was lost in my sin. He came when I was breaking and he made me whole again. He heals the broken hearted and binds up their wounds. He didn't wait for better days. He came into my darkest phase, and in my breaking I found his power. He met me in my weakest hour. So if you're breaking right now, know this truth. Jesus is already moving towards you. You don't have to be ready, don't have to be strong. He's been waiting for you all along. He came when I was breaking, and he'll come when you are too. He's the lightest may wait. You don't make it through.
When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you. Psalm 56:3, he didn't come to fight what scared me. He just sat down and waited until the chaos bowed.
I was drowning in the deep in anxiety, my cellmate. Demons at the table talking about my hellscape. Heart racing like a motor, couldn't find the brakes. Every shadow felt like thunder, every breath an earthquake. Tried to run from what was haunted, but it followed close. Nightmares in the daylight, fears became my host. Paranoia whispering lies about what matters most. Felt abandoned in the storm, shipwreck on the coast. Then a presence filled the room I couldn't quite explain. Not a word, not a shout, just a touch against the pain. Sat beside me in the wreckage in the pouring rain. Didn't rush me through my healing, let me speak his name. Jesus in the trenches where the broken congregate. Not about a struggle, but inside the prison gate. He don't fear my darkness, cause his light obliterates every lie that held me captive, now I'm wide awake. He didn't say a word, just let his love be heard. My chaos met his calm and found peace in his arms. Jesus sat beside my fears until they got quiet. No war, no fight, just his presence in the silence. What was love became a whisper in his holy kindness. Now I'm walking in the light, yeah, I'm finding my purpose. Jesus sat my fears until they got quiet. Transformed my battlefield into a place of revival. Death couldn't hold me, and my past can't define me. Cause the King of Kings is seated right beside me. Used to think that faith meant I would never feel the terror. That believing meant I'm perfect, never faced the error. But the Savior showed me wounds, said I've been to the bottom. Resurrected from the grave, turned my winter into autumn. He knows what it's like to sweat blood in a garden, to cry while you leave me when his soul was getting hard, and to bear the weight of sin when innocence was his identity. So when I'm in my valley low, I know he's got the remedy. I stop performing for approval, drop the religious mask. Let him see my broken pieces, all the questions that I asked. He didn't shame me for my doubts or for the tears that fell fast. He held space for my humanity and loved me through the contrast. Now I'm standing on a rock when the winds try to move me. Anchored in his promises, the enemy can't fool me. What the devil meant for evil, God is using for his glory. Every scar became a sermon, now I'm living out his story. Your word, just let his love be heard. My chaos met his calm and found peace in his arms. Jesus sat beside my fears until they got quiet. No war, no fight, just his presence in the silence. What was I became a whisper in his holy kindness. Now I'm walking in the light, yeah, I'm finding my purpose. Jesus sat my fears until they got quiet. Transform my battlefield into a place of revival. Death couldn't hold me, and my past can't define me, 'cause the King of Kings is seated right beside me. He's the God who sits with sufferers, the one who knows our brokenness. Emmanuel, God with us in the fire, never left us. Not a distant judge condemning, but a father who's defending every child who's fighting demons. His love is never ending. So when the darkness tries to creep back in, I remember where he's already been. In the tomb, in the grave, conquered death and sin. Rose up on the third day, now I rise with him. Greater is the one who lives inside my chest than the fears and lies that try to steal my rest. Covered by the blood, I'm forever blessed. Walking in authority, no longer pressed. Jesus sat beside my fears until they got quiet. No war, no fight, just his presence in the silence. What was loud became a whisper in his holy kindness. Now I'm walking in the light, yeah, I'm finding my purpose. Jesus had my fears until they got quiet. Transform my battlefield into a place of revival. Death couldn't hold me, and my past can't define me, 'cause the King of Kings is seated right beside me. Right beside me, yeah, he's right beside me. In every battle, in the darkness, he will guide me. When I'm weary, when I'm broken, he will find me. Jesus is beside my fears eternally.
Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 said, he didn't need to shout, he just sat and loved the fear right out. Now where there once was noise, there's only his voice. And I am free, I am finally free.
I built walls around the wounds I didn't want nobody seeing. Buried all the broken parts, convinced myself I'm healing. Show the world my highlight reel, the version that's appealing. But inside of all was crumbling, my foundation barely breathing. Trauma in the basement, locked behind 1,000 doors. Childhood scars and midnight tears, I swept beneath the floors. Wore a mask of confidence while drowning in the walls. Pretended I was whole, I bleeding from internal sores. Then Jesus came with keys I didn't know existed. Walked right past my accolades, my image photo listed. Went straight to the cellar where my demons had persisted. To the part I swore I'd never show, the part I never visited. He said, this is where we start, where the hiding is today. The parts you try to bury are the parts that need my grace. I don't need your perfection, I came for your mistakes. The deepest pain you're feeling is my entry to this place. I broke down in his presence, couldn't hold a facade. Years of shame came flooding out before the living God. He didn't turn away or say my brokenness was flawed. He held me in the darkness and said, son, you're not abandoned. I tried to hide the broken, but he came to make it whole. Found me in my secrets, that's where he saved my soul. The part of me I hid was the part he healed first. He went to where it hurt the most, to the place I thought was cursed. Didn't start with what was visible, but the wounds beneath the surface. Now I'm walking in my purpose, 'cause he turned my pain to worship. The part of me I hid was the part he healed first. He saw past all my armor to the child that felt the worst. Pulled me from the prison of the shame I tried to nurse. Now I'm free, completely free, and that's the power here. See, healing ain't cosmetic, it's invasive like a surgery. Gotta renovate the surface when the foundation needs the urgency. He go deep beneath the symptoms, to the root of what is hurting me, to the core of my dysfunction, where I need him most desperately. I used to think if people knew the real me, they would leave, that my value was contingent on the image I achieved. So I hid the parts I hated, tucked away what I believed was too dirty for redemption, too far gone to be retrieved. But Jesus is a specialist in treating what we hide. He's not intimidated by the darkness we got inside. He walked into my hell and said, let me be your guide. The very thing you're running from is where my love resides. Started healing me from places I forgot existed. Memories I tried to kill, emotions I resisted. Father wounds and rejection that my heart had twisted into lies about my value. Now I see how I was gifted. He showed me I was worthy even in my deepest shame. That the blood he shed was powerful enough to break the chains. Every hidden part of me was called by his own name. Now I'm walking in authority, I'm never the same. I try to hide the broken, but he came to make it whole. Found me in my secret, that's where he saved my soul. The part of me I hid was a part he healed first. He went to where it hurt the most, to the place I thought was cursed. Didn't start with what was visible, but the wounds beneath the surface. Now I'm walking in my purpose, cause he turned my pain to worship. The part of me I hid was the part he healed first. He saw past all my armor to the child that felt the worst. Pulled me from the prison of the shame I tried to nurse. Now I'm free, completely free, and that's the power of his word. He starts with what we're hiding, cause that's where freedom lives. The parts we won't surrender are the parts he came in. Yeah, he doesn't need permission to invade our holy ground. He's the God who conquered death, he tears every stronghold down. Goes to where the enemy has had us bound. Breaks the chains of secrecy, now healing is profound. I'm no longer held captive by the things I wouldn't say. The secrets lost their power when I brought them to the light of day. Jesus took the parts I hid and washed the guilt away. Now I'm standing on his promises, I'm walking in his way. What I buried, he unearthed. What I hid, he gave new birth. My deepest pain, his greatest work. From the ashes, beauty first. Yeah. The part of me I hid was the part he healed first. He went to where it hurt the most, to the place I thought was cursed. Didn't start with what was visible, but the wounds beneath the surface. Now I'm walking in my purpose, cause he turned my pain to worship. The part of me I hid was the part he healed first. He saw past all my armor to the child that felt the worst. Pulled me from the prison of the shame I tried to nurse. Now I'm free, completely free, and that's the power of his word. I was gasping for air in the middle of the marathon. Fade tank on empty, wondering what I'm carrying on. Life hit me heavy like I'm carrying tons. Every step felt impossible, my spirit nearly gone. Started strong with conviction, now I'm barely in motion. Dreams I was chasing feel distant like an ocean. Prayers feeling hollow like I'm going through the motions. Heart full of questions with no answers, just erosion. The race got longer than I ever anticipated. Mountains got steeper, my endurance overrated. Thought I could make it on my own, now I'm devastated. Running out of reasons why I haven't, just deflated. Then I felt a presence matching every stride I'm taking. Breath beside my breath when my lungs were nearly breaking. Strength that wasn't mine when my body started shaking. Jesus running with me, now the ground beneath is quaking. He said I've been here the whole time, you just couldn't see. Every mile you thought you ran alone, you ran with me when your faith was fading. Mine was what you break. I'm the wind beneath your wings, I'm your velocity. When I couldn't take another step, he carried me instead. When my faith was running dry, he gave me his breath. I was running out of faith, then Jesus started running with me. Every mile I thought I'd fall, he gave me his energy. When the finish line felt impossible to reach, he reminded me his grace is everything I need. I was running out of faith, and Jesus started running with me. Turned my exhaustion into supernatural synergy. Now I'm moving with a power I can't even believe, cause the King of Glory runs inside of me. Now I see the race from a different perspective. It ain't about my strength, it's about his directive. He's the coach, the trainer, the ultimate objective. Every obstacle I'm facing, got a purpose and objective. Used to think that faith meant I would never hit a wall, that believing in Jesus means I never trip and fall. But he showed me that the struggle is a part of the call, that endurance builds character when I surrender all. See, the work out of this life ain't about my reputation, it's about transformation through the trials and tribulation. Building spiritual muscle through the pain and desperation. Every rep I thought would kill me was divine preparation. Now I'm running with intention, every stride is a worship. Every breath a prayer, every step has purpose. My thoughts just survival had a deeper service. He was training me for battles, making me a warrior servant. Hills that tried to break me made me stronger in the process. Valleys that I walked through taught me how to trust his promise. Now I'm sprinting toward the finish with the fire of the prophet. Jesus is my pacer and his luck and I'll be stopped. When I couldn't take another step, he carried me instead. When my faith was running dry, he gave me his breath. I was running out of faith, and Jesus started running with me. Every mile I thought I'd fall, he gave me his energy. When the finish line felt impossible to reach, he reminded
reminded me His grace is everything I need. I was running out of faith, and Jesus started running with me. Turned my exhaustion into supernatural synergy. Now I'm moving with a power I can't even believe, 'cause the King of Glory runs inside of me. He runs with the weary, He runs with the weak, He runs with the broken, who can barely speak. Yeah, I got the Holy Spirit flowing through my veins now. Every limitation that I had is breaking down now. What the enemy for evil, God is turning around now. I'm running to my destiny, I'm claiming that crown now. No more quitting when it's hard, no more giving up the fight. I got resurrection power burning deep inside my life. The same God who raised the dead is giving me His might. I'm running in His victory from the darkness to the light. Mile after mile, He's by my side. Step after step, He's my guide. From the valley to the mountaintop high. With Jesus I run, I fly. I was running out of faith, and Jesus started running with me. Every mile I thought I'd fall, He gave me His energy. When the finish line felt impossible to reach, He reminded me His grace is everything I need. I was running out of faith, and Jesus started running with me. Turned my exhaustion into supernatural synergy. Now I'm moving with a power I can't even believe, 'cause the King of Glory runs inside. He runs with me every day, never